I'm someone that loves board games. So much so that I decided to find out what was the longest board game that has ever been created. Oh. Hello there. I think I'm coming close to finding the relic. They say anywhere near the endless game, it brings years of disappointment and upset. Countless gamers have tried it. They've tried it and failed. Well, I'm not the failing kind. Get out! We've been searching for days, to no avail. By we, I mean me.
Bruh.
I've been searching deep in the archives of the attic. I can't find it. All I can feel in this place.
Bruh.
All I can feel in this place is loss and sorrow. A game that has never been finished. Never even once finished. How can anyone even look at it? What I'm gonna find today will change my life forever. Come with me. Where could it be? It's like it's just beneath my own eyes. It's like it's in front of me. Where could... I found it. I found it. Excuse me.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Mother of God. It's a beauty.
Out in the Middle East, you can have a lot of fun. Out in the Middle East, by the Mediterranean.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the campaign for North Africa, the Desert War, 1940 to 1943. A super detailed, intensive simulation specifically designed for maximum realism.
Are we the baddies?
Campaign for North Africa, or CNA as I abbreviate in this video, was a board game developed by this gentleman, Richard Berg, in 1978 and focuses on the North African theatre in the Second World War. Yep, that's the theatre of World War II where basically the whole point was to defend a canal. Why didn't they just use the Evergreen? It was way bloody easier.
CNA is known for being one of the most complicated games ever created, if not the most complicated. And that's just not my opinion, that is the opinion of many others.
So, you may be at this point thinking, well, how on earth did one single guy make this? That seems crazy, right? A single person made a project of this scale, if it's the longest board game ever. Well, that's the funny thing. So, initially, it was a team of people who tried to make this game. Richard Berg being one of them. However, within 6 months, all of them left, leaving Richard Berg to complete the project on his own.
However, you don't earn the term the Pope of Wargaming for nothing. Berg continued to work on the game himself for the next 2 years until its final publication in 1978.
When the game was finally released, it cost a whopping £44, which may not sound like a lot, but adjusted for inflation using the Bank of England's inflation calculator, that comes in at around £235 today. Luckily for me, my dad purchased a copy of the game back in the 90s when he was in the army. That's some real dad lore for you there. So, and it was a good job he did, because one of these copies, if you can ever find one, which is blooming hard, comes on eBay for about £565.25 in 2024. And I only found one of them as well. And that's almost double its retail price, adjusted for inflation. So that just shows how rare these things are. So due to that, recently we have installed 3 sniper towers and have been digging anti-tank ditches and setting our dog to extra guard duty, so do not come to our place. So the real question is, Bitcoin, 200k, or CNA, 600 quid? I'll leave that up to the experts, but we've got a lot to unpack here, so let's get to the weeds of why this game is such a pain in the arse to play. Unlike a traditional board game that may have 2, 4, 6 players, maybe 6 at a push, CNA has a recommended 10 players. Well, that's not entirely true. So you could play CNA with just 2 people, you and your mate. However, you would each have to be your own Commander-in-Chief, Logistics Commander, Air Commander, Frontline Commander, and of course my favourite of all time, the Rear Area Commander.
Embarrassing!
And what that means for someone who doesn't lead soldiers for a living, or doesn't paint miniatures obsessively and play games where they're conquering the world.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell.
I wouldn't know anyone. Anyway, not for those kind of people, but everyone else, it would be a bit confusing. And that basically means what you've got to do is, you've got to train your own troops, repair your own ships, assign unit models, construct buildings, and this is the crazy one, and I swear to God, I am not making this up. You've got to calculate the spillage / evaporation, of course, of water while you're like conquering the top of North Africa. You've also got to be like, if my evaporation level is like 3%, but there's a rule. It's like the British have, like, after a certain year they invent like the jerry can or something, which means their evaporation goes down. If you do read the rule book, which I do recommend you do, as it is quite funny, Berg does write something about his logistics system. So that's like all the transporting and all the making, you know, you got to work out all your supplies and your types of trucks and all this kind of stuff. So he writes about the this logistics system, saying this: most of the design work went into making the logistics system work. Hundreds of computations on breakdown rates, fuel consumption, and tonnage capacities. Not so for the air system. That was hell. Later wrote this as well. He said, if you ask me, the whole thing is too much. But then you could say that about the whole game. I think that's quite a nice way to finish, where it's just like, the whole game itself is just ridiculously big. It's like, if you could just see how crazy we can go, how much you can write, how many rules you could make in a game, then this is the game. But it's fun and it's interesting, and at the end of the day, that is enough to make a video about. So thank you very much for watching today. And yeah, if you learned something, do your thing. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.